Okay, I'm ready to start evacuating the system. Had me put it all together first of all. Connect the red, the blue to the red to the red, blue to the blue, yellow to the yellow, and shut off all the valves, and then connect the blue hose to the low pressure port and the red hose to the high pressure port. So that's all done. And it says to turn on the vacuum pump, open the coupler valves. Those are the ones down underneath that connect to the air conditioner. And open the manifold valves and read the vacuum on the blue gauge. So I am going to do that. I don't know how long I'm going to do that, but we'll see. I got to find the on switch. Yeah, there it is. It's in the back. So turning the valves on at the bottom are, you turn it clockwise to open. And up on the manifold, you turn them counterclockwise to open. I'm going to leave that run for a few minutes. It's already reading 28 pounds of vacuum, 28 psi. Oops, I don't have that in the frame. I'm going to shut the video off while that's happening. After consulting with the Vintage Air manual, it said when you're evacuating the system, you need to have the dryer and evaporator heated up. So on a cold day, you should run the engine. So I started the engine to get it up to temperature. Okay, I'm going to call that enough evacuating the system. I'm going to turn off the engine, and then we'll disconnect the vacuum pump. After shutting off the vacuum pump, we've got to close these valves. These go clockwise to close. The ones down below go counterclockwise to close. Got my gloves on so that I don't end up burning myself. on the hot engine parts. It's a little warm down there. Okay. Double check that these are closed. Double check those are closed. They're all good. I can disconnect the vacuum pump. Shut off the camera while I go get the refrigerant. Okay, I couldn't tell if I was recording. I've got it hooked up. I've got the refrigerant can hooked up, and it says to keep it upright. So I'm doing that, and I need to turn on the engine, turn on the air conditioner, and then open the blue low pressure side only on both the manifold and the coupler valve. I'm going to shut it off while I climb in and start the engine and turn the air conditioner on. I got that done. I'm going to open the refrigerant valve, and then I'm going to open the low pressure side. Focus in on the gauges, since that's what I'm going to be looking at from now on. It immediately, as soon as I opened that valve, it jumped from negative pressure to positive. It went all the way up to 50, and now it's dropping down. I assume that's as the refrigerant can gets empty. Exactly sure how I'm going to be able to tell when that can is empty, but right now it's cold, and that tells me that it's been taking the Freon out of the can. I suppose whenever the gauges stop moving, going to shut this off while it empties that can. I don't expect the air conditioner to start working until I probably have at least 2 cans in there, or at least 1.5. I'm going to show you how I'm going to tell how empty they are. Pick this up to shake it. You can see the frost at the level of the refrigerant on the can. That shows no frost. That can is empty. And I have to put in about 2 1/3 cans. So I'll be able to use that as a gauge to see how much of that 3rd can has been taken into the system. So after rereading the instructions, turns out I was supposed to have the coupler valve down at the air conditioning connection open. And now you can see a reading on the high pressure side. Had to read the instructions about 4 times before I realized that. And I'm sure that didn't cause any problems. The only thing it probably did was not show up on the gauge. There's less than 1 full can of refrigerant in there so far, and it's kicked on a couple times and is actually blowing cool air, not cold. There you go. You can see the gauges move. I think that kicked off. And then you'll see the low pressure side go up way high. Whenever it kicks on, you'll hear the engine rev a little bit. I'm going to leave that on until it kicks on again. Problem of not knowing how much gas I have in the tank because I don't have miles to compare it to. All this idling. Kicked on again because the engine rev kicked off. I'll shut the video off now and continue the process. So I'm on the last can of refrigerant required. I have been taking the cans and shaking them a little bit like this to get them to take the gas in. You don't want to turn them upside down because you don't want liquid refrigerant going into the system. So I'm going to give this about 10 minutes. Hopefully we'll see frost line form on it so I know approximately how much of that is in there. I need 1/3 of it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I can see a condensation line on the can. So I've got the engine or the air conditioner charged to what I think is about 2 and almost a third of a can. They're 12-ounce cans, so that should be about 28 ounces, a little over. It was a little, I thought I had a little more than a third, so that should be right there. Now I'm going to shut all the valves and then disconnect it from the car. I've already shut off the refrigerant. I'll shut off the low side. I'll shut off the high side. Man, that's harder to turn when it's got pressure in it. It did tell me to shut off the connector valves here, so I'm going to turn those to closed. See if that makes that valve easier to turn. It didn't actually tell me to turn these off. So I guess that's good. I'm going to disconnect them. Open this valve and relieve the pressure, see if I can turn. That down. Is that closed all the way already? I guess that it was. Oh well. It's disconnected. I'm going to disassemble the manifold stages here. I did put a call into Vintage Air, and what I'm trying to get from them is what my pressures ought to be with and without the thing running with a full charge. And then once I get those, I probably am going to hook these back up and just do a diagnostic on it. But for now, I think it's as good as I can do today. So this is the Harbor Freight gauge manifold. As I was taking these off, I noticed both of these connections here were not tight. So I may have been leaking some Freon that wasn't going into the system. Hopefully, I mean, it was cool inside. Hopefully I got enough of it in there. But if you have the Harbor Freight thing, check these before you charge it.